listeners. Welcome to Plano's Political Pitbull Podcast. I am Esther.
And I'm Ruth.
And today we are staying in Plano for this episode. But first, our sponsor is Southwest Pain Management. Southwest Pain Management takes care of most chronic pain without pain pills. Their goal is to get you back to doing the things you love. They are also the world's leading long COVID experts. Dr. Groisman sees people from all over the world to treat their long COVID. Southwest Pain Management is in Plano. Please go to their website, reliefbeginshere.com. That's reliefbeginshere.com to see all that they do. So first up today, I watched the budget workshop, and paint drying would have been more entertaining to watch than the budget workshop. However, that is why I, here at Plano's Political Pitbull, watch it for you so you don't have to. The proposed tax rate, well, that was never discussed. And so it remains the same, 44.06 cents from the last time we reported on this and the last meeting that they had, where Maria too wanted the maximum she could get proposed to be in the newspaper. All rates, like water, sewer, and drainage, still going up, folks. They had a lot of presentations for grant funding requests. The one that is worth mentioning, in my view, is the Heritage Commission grants. So the Heritage Commission, they approved $1,134,914 in grants. The available funds they had was $1.5 million. So if you are doing your math, yes, they have a balance of $356.86. So they decided that the wise thing to do would be to save that for an emergency, like when a tornado comes by and knocks over our landmark cemetery again. Yeah, that happened once before. So they thought, okay, let's do that. That's a good idea. Well, you know, politicians, they just cannot seem to understand how it is that they had money left over. It's like shocking. So
money left over? We can't have that.
Yeah. So Councilman Kerr, he asked why there were available funds then, and how come the requests were lower than the funds that were, in the bank, so to speak, or in the budget. And do you know what the chair of the commission actually said?
What?
It's shocking. She said the groups asked for what they needed. Oh my gosh. How shocking. I know.
What they needed?
Yes.
No.
Yes. It is amazing. I would have been like, great, we have money left over. Not this guy. No, this guy wanted to know how come they didn't ask for more. He's kidding, right? He had to be. He was not kidding. Sometimes they still shock me. Every once in a while, I still get surprised. Now, there was a funny story or a funny thing that happened at the budget workshop, but I'm going to save that for the end because we are going to need a laugh with what is coming up. So we have an update on the anti-Semitism allegations in Plano schools. So I have more good news for us. The Attorney General has also opened up an investigation. That is, the Texas Attorney General has opened up an investigation into the allegations of anti-Semitism in Plano schools. That makes 3 agencies investigating Plano schools. You've got the Texas Education Agency, the Department of Justice, the feds, basically, and now the Attorney General's Office of Texas. If I were Plano, I'd be very scared. Especially the one with the DOJ. You don't want to play with the feds. I have some more good news. This is finally getting some attention by traditional media outlets. And one of those was the Dallas Morning News. They had an article on the Attorney General of Texas's investigation. And guess who they asked to speak to or for a quote on the matter?
Steve Levine?
Yes. How did you guess?
Because you told me that he was quoted in the Dallas Morning News.
I forgot. I already told you this story. Okay. Yeah, so he was quoted by the Dallas Morning News. Apparently, they figured, well, we'll get a Jewish perspective on it. Unfortunately, they didn't realize that they were asking the wrong Jew. So
He's Jewish?
Yes, he is. I know. She's looking very confused. I know, it's shocking, right? So, and she's looking confused and shocked because of what I'm about to say.
Yeah, I know what's coming.
Steve told the Dallas Morning News, quote, claims of anti-Semitism are politically motivated. Now, why he thinks that, he never said. He never expanded on that. But yeah, apparently he thinks that all of these claims are politically motivated.
I don't see what political advantage you would have. No one really cares about Jews.
Yes, like all the Jews who are being harassed and bullied and complaining about this, all of these children are political insiders? I don't think so. He goes on to say, quote, if proven, they need to be stopped and addressed. But I do not believe yet that these claims are legitimate examples of systemic or approved anti-Semitism in Plano schools. Close quote. Is he joking?
Long story short, he's trying to cover Plano's behind.
I think so. Yeah,
I think that's legal. That's a politician for nothing to see here.
Yeah. So I think he needs to talk to the Texas Education Agency, because I have a source that told me that they believe it is systemic. Okay? And basically it just means it's deeply rooted in there. That's all it means. Steve, have you talked to anybody at all? Have you talked to any of the parents that have been dealing with this for 2 years? Come on. I have a word for Jews like Steve Levine. Or I have a phrase, I should say. Jewish by birth only. I also...
I don't know if he practices.
He's not going to stand up and believe his people?
I don't think that's what this is. I think this is a trying to cover Plano, like keep everyone calm and be like, there's nothing to see here, like, and while in the background they're freaking out and trying to figure out what to do.
Then you're not standing up for your community. You know, before I'm a Planoite, I'm a Jew. Okay? And I will stand with my Jewish brothers and sisters first. Apparently, some Jews have another nickname for him. They call him Steve Palestine. If that's a hint at how they feel about Councilman Levine.
That one's funny.
That one is funny. Okay.
It's more clever than yours.
Yes. All right. On to other news in Plano. So on August 25th, the City Council talked about the proposed tax rate. And the discussion was like none other we have had in the past 8 years, because there were some council members no longer there who would stand up for the citizens of Plano. So Mark Israelson, our city manager, he opened up the discussion by saying that the legislature is hard at work in their special session to lower the voter approval rate from 3.5% to 1%. That sounds lovely, doesn't it? But that means that now we have a bunch of panicky council members. Oh my gosh, we won't be able to raise our taxes as much as we want to? The horror. So here's what council member Steve Levine had to say for himself. He said, quote, "Our residents have very high expectations. They have indicated to us that they would like to maintain the city services they have enjoyed and some extra things." I want to know who he talked to, because he sure as heck didn't talk to me. I would have pointed out a lot of things he could have got. We are also at the point, he continues, of having many one-time expenses that need to be done. He goes on to say, we now have the opportunity now to offset some of the bond interest expense and replenish our land acquisition funds. Facing increased pressure on economic development, and the cap on that fund needs to be increased. He also says that, and we can't forget our festivals and other unfunded efforts. We may not have this opportunity again. So, if you can't tell, he wants the 44.6 cents tax rate, which for the average homeowner is the maximum they can get away with. And that would mean for you $248 increase in your property tax bill just for the city. Really, I want to know who he talked to, because he didn't talk to anyone that's on a tight budget. Of course, take a wild guess what 2 said. You want to take a wild guess what 2 said?
No.
Okay, I'll tell you. She agreed with Levine.
Wow. I'm so shocked.
I know, you could have had a heart attack from that surprise, right? We have to have a buffer, she says, for our rainy days. We need to run the city like a business, not like a household, she said.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we have to run the city like a business, not like a household.
How about run the city like a city?
That would be a good idea, because there's just one issue with her saying we want to run the city like a business. You see, if a business raises its prices on their products, the customer can go to the competitor of that business and get their product elsewhere, and they can do this very easily. Walmart's prices are too expensive, you can go over to Target. You don't like Target's prices, you can go over to HEB. Don't like those prices, you could go to Kroger. Don't like any of those prices, guess what? You could go to Amazon and never have to leave your house, okay? So it's not the same as running a business, because we, the people who live here, who pay the taxes here, it's not easy for us to just pick up and move to one of your competitors like Frisco, Allen, or McKinney that are more affordable. That whole analogy is not worth a damn thing.
Since we were talking about Steve Levine again,
Mm-hmm.
I want to circle back to what I said about his statement being a nothing to see here, because I feel like I changed my mind on that.
Okay.
I think he generally doesn't believe the problem is as big as people are making it out to be.
Oh, so he doesn't believe the people.
Well, no, he doesn't believe it's systemic. And we've argued on this before, and I've argued in the past that this just sounds like typical bullying, and because Israel and Palestine are in the news right now, that's the target.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that, but there is the problem with that is that the school district is retaliating against the parents. And
when have they not
ever retaliated? We're talking like major retaliation, that parents are fearful. Okay? This is not your normal childhood stuff. When the administration gets involved, you've got a problem. But I get it. He doesn't believe that it's in the administration or the school board. I get that.
Okay. I just wanted to mention that.
I get it. All right, back to Maria 2 here. So she says, if we don't max it this time, we will never have the opportunity to do it again. In other words, get the maximum tax rate this time. They'll never have another opportunity. Because she said, the legislature is cutting off our arms and our legs, and we'll never have another chance. We'll never have another chance of getting money to save for rainy days. Just one problem with that theory, Maria, is that they are not planning on saving it. They're going to spend it. So, Care, he said, the original budget had 41.76 cents, but left out some things. And we need to continue to invest in economic development, he said. He said we need alternatives to DART. Over the last 6 months, I have heard people talk about the debt we have taken on. Also, we need to look at replacing police equipment. I don't know why that wouldn't be in your budget right now. And as for transportation, there's this thing called Uber and Lyft. So DART is going to be dead. DART is good if you want to go from Plano to Dallas or vice versa, but anywhere within Plano, and it's not good.
You do realize Uber and Lyft is not cheap, right?
I know Uber and Lyft is not cheap, but if you can't afford a car and insurance and gas and maintenance, it might be a wash. Now, I don't believe that it is the responsibility of government to give transportation to people. I don't think that's a core function of government.
Well,
and I think people can get around better on their own.
Well, if the government, as in the city government, is zoning things so far away from each other, like this is residential and then this is business, and they're so far away from each other that you need transportation, and that was the city's planning, then, well, it's the government's fault that you need that transportation in the first place.
Yeah, but we don't want to live in a compact city where we're on top of one another over here. No. And you can't get everything you need in these mixed-use developments that they're doing and walkable neighborhoods when it's 100 frickin' degrees out in Texas. I've made that argument before.
I'm just saying it's a catch-22.
It is a catch-22, but when we did not have cars or buses or trains, we didn't supply people with horse and carriages for discounted fee.
You didn't have the old-timey taxi with the horse and carriage?
They right? did, but those were private.
Oh.
Those weren't city-run. So Horn, he said, we have to keep the tax rate the same, or we have, kept the tax rate the same for 3 years, and costs have gone up. And I am nervous of them going up more. We need emergency funds. We have stream bank mitigation we have to do. We have police that needs equipment. And with the state legislature, I am in favor of the 44.6 cents and keeping it at that rate for 3 years. He wants to keep it at that rate for 3 years. I think he's forgotten that he still gets more money because new things come online, and you don't need to go to the maximum amount allowed. You'll get more money. I mean, there are so many things in that budget that I could cut. So many things. But do they want to do that? No. Homer, she is also concerned about what is happening with the legislature and argues with, I wish she would argue, but she agrees with everything that's been said. Now, I have some surprising news. Down spoke. She actually said some words. Although with what she said, she should have kept quiet.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, yeah. No, what she said is almost as bad as what former Councilman Rick Grady once said when he said that people should mow their own lawns to afford their tax increase. Yeah. No, this was almost as bad. So she started out with ditto.
Wait, she actually said those words?
Yeah, she actually said ditto.
Or that word.
So, and then she said, she took the opportunity to channel former Councilman Anthony Riccadelli and did some math on her own house. I don't think she channeled him enough. Okay? So she said that for her, if we go up to 44.6 cents, it'll cost her an additional $257.30 a year. She said, I have the ability to easily absorb that. And she continued, and she said, but you have to ask the question, is it worth $257.30 to maintain the excellence of our police, fire, parks, streams, and fun festivals, our economic development, a rainy day fund? And her answer was, I believe the answer is yes. I think that while not technically almost worse, not worse than what Rick Brady said, that's pretty bad. Yeah, you can afford to absorb it. Great. Good for you, Miss Probate Lawyer. All you have to do is raise your rates.
What was the point he was trying to make with that first statement? Like, she kind of lost the plot in the second half. In the first part, it sounded like she was going to say, I can absorb that, and like, I can afford that.
Yeah.
But other people might not.
That's where I thought she was going. And then she turned.
Why did we pivot? Like, where were you going with that first statement? What did any of that have to do with anything?
Yeah, see, this is where she didn't channel Anthony Riccadelli enough. Because I have a feeling...
I just think her point makes no sense.
It doesn't. But what I'm saying is that apparently she didn't channel him enough, because I feel like Anthony Riccadelli would have said, I can afford the $257.30. But I don't know if somebody else can. To somebody else, that might be a cart of groceries. But she didn't do that. No, she basically said all the stuff in our budget, all the big stuff and all the little stuff, like festivals. Yeah, we really need festivals and dinners and economic development. Pretty much all the things I hate. Yes, they're worth the $257.30 increase that it will have on her.
So then, okay, this isn't about what Anthony would have said, though. The point doesn't make sense on its own. Like, forget Anthony.
Yeah.
Forget him, okay? Mm-hmm. He didn't exist, okay? For 1 second, forget he existed.
I don't want to forget he existed. What do you mean forget he existed?
1 second. Okay. For 1 second.
All right, I'll go with your hypothetical.
Actually, for a couple seconds.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. The point on its own doesn't make sense, because why are you mentioning that for you can absolve that? Where's the but? Where's the point?
I think you mean absorb.
Absorb, whatever.
Not absolve that. I
okay?
I don't know what her point was. I really don't. It was very disjointed. You're right. She first says, well, I can absorb that, and then asks,
Okay, and?
is it worth it? Well, maybe.
What part of that makes it then, you would think the next point would be no. But no, the following was yes. Was it just that it's worth it to you?
Yes, it's worth it to her. It ain't worth it to me. It isn't going to be worth it to somebody who's got 2 young children that they got to buy a pair of sneakers for and get school supplies for and feed and clothe and house.
All right, you know what? I'm starting to understand why she did, because I'm trying to figure out why she even bothered with the math. I think I'm starting to understand.
Oh, please enlighten me.
She wanted to do the math to see that if the increase would be worth it to her in her financial situation. It was a selfish choice.
Ah, I see. So yeah, she was only caring about her. Well, that was really dumb. Because
that's the only thing that could possibly make sense to me of why she would bother with that entire first statement or even bother with that math.
Beats me. It was not smart. Not smart. Like I said, she should have remained quiet. Because it's not going to look good on it for her. She's lucky she's got 4 more years to go. Maybe people will forget, but I don't think so. So there was one lone person who did say something for the residents. Of course, he didn't do it for long. So it was Vidal. He said, I have hesitation of going all the way up to the 44.6 cents. He said he was leaning towards 43.46 cents or 43.76 cents. He understands we have expenses, but does understand that $250 in regards to the impact that it has on our residents. And the cost of living is going up for our citizens.
When does this pivot?
No, that was it.
Oh.
Yeah, he just said he was leaning towards basically 43.46 cents. I mean, it's a decrease. It's not much of a decrease, but sadly nobody else saw it his way. And he's not very confident, I get the feeling. He's like, well, I was really looking more towards or leaning towards 43.6, but I understand that we have all these expenses. He didn't sell it. It was like wishy-washy, and no, you've got to sell it. You have to own it. If you're going to try and put out a debate, man. I mean, come on.
Gotta be confident.
Rick Smith could have done a better job at this. And he wasn't at all contentious, or a big, what's the word? He wasn't that aggressive. Shelby and Anthony were very aggressive. They were very nice about it, but they were, no, this is wrong, or people are not going to be able to afford it. They would have stood their ground. Vidal did not stand his ground.
Well, you don't have to be aggressive about it, but you can state, I understand everyone's points here, but yada, yada, yada. and state your point
He
in
needed
a confident manner and not just be like, I feel or I think. You have to be like, this is the facts and this is my opinion.
He didn't sell it. He didn't even sound like he believed what he was saying. You have to have confidence in what you're saying and sell it and believe it. Nobody's going to take you seriously if you don't.
Megan probably heard that and then just forgot about it the next second.
It wasn't good. It was not a good argument at all. And of course...
Was it even an argument?
Not really, no. So, of course, our mayor, he wants the 44.6. So they're going to be voting on 44.6 cents, guys, unless you do something about it. You know, the sad part is nobody spoke. I don't know if anyone registered an opinion. You can register an opinion without speaking, but unfortunately, the secretary does not say how many people registered an opinion and what the opinion was, either for or against. I would be interested in knowing that. So,
how does the council see those opinions?
They're supposed to see those opinions. Whether or not they do, I don't know. So I did a little math. Remember, I decided last week, I said, I'm going to make a list because I wanted to find out what you could get with $248.
Oh, yeah.
The average amount, the average homeowner's bill is going to go up. So all of these prices are local. I looked at Walmart, Target, H-E-B, and Kroger. All right?
Okay.
So a pair of kids' sneakers, $40. You could get 6 pairs of child's sneakers for $248. Kids' t-shirt, $4 each, on sale. You could get 62 shirts or t-shirts.
Why would you ever need 62 shirts?
That's not the point of this experiment.
I know.
Kids' pants, $15 each. For $248, you could get 16 pairs of pants. So 2 weeks worth of pants. Girls' socks, 20 per pack, $10 a pack, so 50 cents a sock. You could get 496 socks at that price of $248.
That's a lot of socks.
That's a lot of socks, yes. Girls' underwear, $10 for a 10-pack. So that's $1 each. 248 pairs of underwear at $248.
Boys' underwear?
No, this is girls' underwear.
No, I'm asking what about boys' underwear? Why are you only doing girls' stuff?
I didn't do boys. Okay, I'm sorry. I figured they'll be the same, maybe. Boys could be a little cheaper, because they'll just be plain. Usually. Notebook. One subject. 35 cents each. That's at H-E-B if you're interested. You could get 708 notebooks. Number 2, pencils. 24-pack, $1.94 each pack. That's 127 packs of 24 pencils, or 3,048 pencils for $248. A whole Tyson chicken. The Gentiles have some really good deals on chicken, let me tell you. Okay. A Tyson whole chicken, 5 pounds, $8.95, or $1.79 a pound. For that, okay, so you got one bird, $8.95. You could get 27 5-pound birds. I could get a lot less than that because kosher chicken is expensive.
So you could probably get a lot with $250.
Yes. Peanut butter, $2.99 per jar. You could get 82 jars. Grape jelly, can't forget the jelly, $2.99 each, so also 82 jars. 2% jug of milk, $2.56. You could get 96 jugs of milk. Eggs, 1 dozen, $2.72. You could get 91 cartons of eggs, or 1,092 eggs. Apples, 89 cents a pound. You could get 278 pounds of apples. Ground beef, 1 pound, $6.24 per pound. And you could get 39.74 pounds for $248. Fuel for your car, $2.73 a gallon. You could get 90.84 gallons of gas. Electricity, 1 month electric bill, and of course that's going to depend on the season. And heat and gas, $248 is 1 month in the winter, depending on the weather.
What's the average?
And 3 to 4 months in the summer.
Are those the averages?
On the electric and gas, I just took my bills and I looked and I added it.
Well, you should have gone the average. Just saying.
It wouldn't have worked, especially for the heat and gas. Okay. So, do you get a theme here of my list?
Yeah, you just looked at groceries.
And
you can get a lot of groceries.
Yes, but there was other things I looked at. Kids' clothes and kids' school supplies. We are in that time of year where people are going and they've gotten their kids' school supplies and they've gotten new clothes for the upcoming year. And yes, food.
Like, obviously with $250, you're going to be able to get a lot of groceries and a lot of school supplies.
But I don't think people...
Which are generally under $100.
But I don't think that a lot of people on council fully grasp what $248 is to a family. And there might be people who don't understand out there, because maybe $248 is not a lot of money to them. Maybe they can afford that very easily, and they'll make the trade-off. But to a person who is struggling, to a person who's living paycheck to paycheck, it is a lot of money, especially this time of year. Sometimes I think we forget that.
Also, I do want to say there is a variable that your little study misses.
What's that?
It's just calculating one item and doubling it, or tripling it, or however many times. Like, it's multiplying it a lot of times until you get 250.
Yes.
But that's not how people shop.
I know that's not how people shop.
The average grocery bill right now is, I mean, what was yours lately? It's been like
around $200.
around $200.
Yeah, that's my point. It's a cart full of groceries. And sometimes I think we forget what you can get with that money, what else you could get.
But you're able to get like a bunch of different stuff for that.
Obviously, you're
I'm just saying that
stuff for that.
There was a different route you could have taken.
I've taken that other route before. It didn't go anywhere.
Oh, this one's going to work?
Okay. You're not helping.
I know, but I don't think you thought this through.
Yes, I know people can get, when they go to the grocery store, they don't get the same thing multiple times.
You could also get a couple of electronics.
Yes, you could get...
You forgot electronics.
I was doing the necessities, okay? You don't need a television set.
Well, if you want to display how much $250 really is, you got to go for the big stuff to really hammer home this is a lot of money.
Yeah, but you see, people don't need a television set. They need food.
No, but your point is that it's a lot of money.
My point is it can get you a lot of stuff that you need. Also, I'm not going to go into detail on this, but they are making the cost of living in Plano more expensive. Do you know which city has the least cost of living in America?
Probably some rural town?
Nope.
It
is in Collin County.
Is it a city I know of?
Could be, yeah. It's in Collin County. It's McKinney. McKinney is the most affordable city in Texas, and I think the country.
Really?
Yes, it is.
How did they decide affordability?
They go by how much income they make versus how much expenses there are. And so that's your cost of living ratio. And McKinney people make more than us, and they spend less on necessities than we do. So, they keep complaining, we don't have any workforce housing. We already know that people are living elsewhere and commuting to Plano. I think we only have 20,000 people who live and work in Plano, this study showed. So what they're doing has the opposite effect, and they keep doing things that make Plano more expensive. They just changed all their zoning to confer with the state laws, and they've made the design standards so high that they're going to be more expensive to build.
Well, they keep trying to turn us into Dallas.
Yeah,
Guess what? I'm pretty sure Dallas is more expensive than Plano.
Depends on where.
Depends on where, yeah. But
yeah.
I mean, Dallas is really big, so.
All right. Now I have a funny story in our little bit of time that's left over because we need a laugh. And I'm going to try to get through this without laughing. Because, I was laughing so hard I could not breathe. So we have a public improvement district in downtown Plano. And evidently, the stakeholders in downtown Plano, they didn't want to rejoin some of them. Specifically, the large apartment building owners and commercial developments, that the council passed, and now they don't want to join the public improvement district and give money to the public improvement fund. So the chair of the Public Improvement District came with hat in hand asking for $150,000. Actually, she was asking for more than that. I'm sorry. She was asking for $220,000 from Plano because she wants to have $20,000 for a public improvement district consultant, $100,000 to contribute to the PID fund, and $100,000 for an events coordinator to coordinate all of the festivals that they do downtown. And one of the festivals they want to do this year is called the Mammoth Jack Festival. They want to make it an annual festival.
Sounds like fun.
So, who or what is a Mammoth Jack? Mammoth Jack is a donkey. And it's a very large donkey. So actually, a Mammoth Jack is a breed of donkey. And there's a little history about these large donkeys in Plano. So apparently, Mr. Haggard, in the 1800s, he came to Plano with a very large Mammoth Jack attached to his wagon. And everyone was so surprised and in awe of this huge donkey. Well, downtown Plano used to be kind of like a stockyard where they would buy and sell animals. And we became known for our very large donkeys that would breed very large mules. And everyone from Texas or around Texas, in Texas, would come to buy these particular mules and donkeys.
So there's your little history.
Yeah, that's the history. So the downtown folks, they want to trademark this caricature of the donkey and have Mammoth Jack as a mascot. And they want to put this donkey on their t-shirts, mugs, hats, bags, you name it, they want this. And the lady said that the Mammoth Jack Festival will become an icon of the city and also something people will remember. Yeah, we want to be known for having the biggest jackass in all of Texas. Like I said, I was trying to get through without laughing. I mean, yeah, come to Plano, the home of the giant jackass. I mean, come on, people. I don't think this is what we want to be known for. Sadly, the council loved it. Which is saying something for them. Yep. That's, yeah. So, yep, the Mammoth Jack Festival will be coming to...
The biggest thing since the state fair.
It'll be coming to downtown. She's hoping in May when it's National Donkey Day.
That's funny. That's funny.
This is what we've come to, Plano. This is what we've come to. All right.
They'll do anything to get people to come here.
Yeah, that'll be it. Sure.
It's a spectacle.
Oh, it's going to be a spectacle, all right.
All right.
Now to our favorite animal.
All right, to our VID, very important doggy. Zeus is still our very important dog. He's a friendly boy who's about 5 years of age. He's a smart dog who will make a great companion for you. He's a playful dog who was never claimed by his owner. Aw. One of his eyes has a genetic defect, but it sure doesn't slow him down. Doesn't that just mean he has like a blue eye?
No.
No, it's something else.
Yeah.
All right, they don't specify what it is, but okay. It doesn't affect him. He is an active and sweet boy who really wants a new home, and he's so affectionate and just a love bug, like most pit bulls.
So if you want to find out more about Zeus, please go to planospoliticalpitbull.com and click on the link Pit Bulls for Adoption. Well, that is going to be a wrap for us, folks. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is Esther.
And this is Ruth.
For Plano's Political Pitbull, signing off.